Hey, welcome back to Silent Podcast, where we're anything but silent? Question mark?
Yes.
What? Awesome.
What?
Oh my God, I'm so excited to be here. My name is Mark, and I'm so excited to talk Survivor New York with the one and only
Davey, hey besties.
Hey. This is going to be such a fun one. We already have Valencia in the chat. We know it's good when Valencia's in the chat.
Yes, always a great time, Valencia.
You've been good recently, Davey? I feel like I haven't talked to you since our last recording.
I've been all right. I've been good.
Nice.
I mean, honestly, can't complain. Just been really busy, and yeah, I got Survivor New York on the brain.
Mm-hmm. Very excited.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been good. I've been apartment hunting. I've been job hunting. Both things are looking pretty good. But that's not Survivor New York podcast. It's just Surviving New York podcast. But I see one of the people that we have is nodding their head. I'm really excited. I love these two people. They're like, oh my God, great friends. I met them the same time I met you.
Yeah.
And that makes my little nerdy little heart happy because I love everyone we're talking to today. I'm just gonna bring them out. We got legends in this world, great human beings. Yes. Michael and Paddock, how are y'all?
Woo!
Hi, Mark.
Hi.
Hey.
Oh, where are you? There you are. Oh, King.
So happy to have you. I don't see you, but I hear you.
Yes.
How are y'all been?
We're great. I mean, I've been excited watching all the episodes for season 6 so far. You know, I was there on crew, so kind of looking forward to it.
Season 5.
Talking a little bit about
yeah.
For season 6, I was on crew that season. You see some of me in episode 6, holding an umbrella for Naomi and running around with my fat ass everywhere. Oops, sorry, I forget if I can curse.
You're allowed to curse.
You can curse.
Okay, yeah. Fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Paddock?
Yeah.
It's great to be reunited. Michael and I were the tribe handlers for the Iona tribe, so it's really cute. Mom, Dad.
Absolutely, our purple people.
Purple people.
Yeah. TJ is in the chat saying, "Is Michael sipping on a martini?"
No, TJ, I'm a good homosexual. This is a cosmopolitan.
Yes, cosmopolitan, aka the pink vodka margarita. Just kidding. All right. So it has been a tradition to ask each of the panelists on this lovely podcast this question. Okay, so because it's Bannerman Island and there's an artillery, weaponry, you know, the whole 9 yards. If you were a weapon, what weapon would you be? Anybody can go first.
Well, this one's easy for me. I'm arsenic. I'm bitter but deadly.
That's lovely. Some guys just can't handle their arsenic.
Arsenic and old lace, you know.
The two things they love the most in life, right?
I'm in the process of counting down to my 50th birthday, so I'm approaching my half century here. So I'm all about getting older here.
Yes. I also said I was poison too. So cheers to the Poison Alliance. Amen.
I am a landmine, and I think that is very perfect because, you know, you don't know quite where I am, but once you step on me, put a little pressure, boom.
Boom.
Yes.
Yes.
For those that haven't watched Survivor New York 4, we're not going to spoil anything, but Paddock is incredible as the Marshmallow Queen of that season, as she says it herself.
She is not silent but deadly.
Yes. It was a pleasure. I always think about our season, and I always think about how technical and how great it was. So cheers to that. I'm very happy to see you both on this pod. And I guess without further ado, let's get started.
Yeah.
Sure.
Episode 6, title Fall to the Sword. Sorry. Fall to the sword, not fall on or at or near, but fall to the sword. It starts off pretty immediately. Ed calls Kayla sketchy and isn't happy that she's gone, but made a deal to work with her. So jury and that's a really interesting thing because I just listened to Kayla's episode with Chris and Naomi, and that whole thing with them actually trying to work together but not being able to get on the same page really that hurts still.
Yeah, I gotta say it was sad to see Kayla go. I really I love Kayla. She's a super great human being. I played another game with her, and I like getting to see her play too. I think it was a little bit too early of a boot for her, but like in the long run, if she had stayed, she probably could have been a lot more damage than people thought she could have done.
Yeah,
I mean, absolutely. I think Ed and Sharif needed to get Kayla out more because of they'd broken trust with her. So like seeing all her sketchy and her untrustworthy is a little bit of gives you the side eye. It's like, no, I think you're outing yourself, maybe. But I think it was a good move for them, setting them up to be in a good position for this next episode as well.
Yeah, for sure. And that is like, it needed to happen. I think they were just really spooked. Though I was surprised that Ed and Sharif didn't intend to vote Kayla on that first vote. And so I think that to his point of needing it to happen, it was true because she didn't trust them and she wanted them out.
But there's also that weird miscommunication also with McKenna that McKenna brings up in her first confessional, where it sounds like it could have very easily been Annie going home instead of Kayla.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's just the way it happens sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, yeah. Sharif feels like he's, like, okay, but, like, has no idea, like, what is going to happen next. That's a good way to put that, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think his connections on that tribe, on that swap tribe have really, I guess, come to fruition because now he's not seen as like a big threat. I think he's seen more of as an asset. But we're not sure yet. He's thinking Julia though, so cheers to that.
I have to shout out Kristen in the chat. Always happy to see her in the chat. One of my favorite people I drafted, and I'm very happy I drafted for. Yeah.
Kristen, here's a secret. I love you too.
Yes, I love you too, Kristen. And I think that you're right. I think that at this point, Sharif is kind of on like trying to figure out where he is. He gets to move into the background a little bit because Daddy Sharif down there is like, when you get to know him, he's a sweet guy.
So sweet.
But he makes this whole like very imposing figure physically that you worry about if you were a player up against him. You look at him and you go, oh, this guy's going to be trouble. But that when you get to know him, he's a really sweet guy. Lives about a mile from me, really nice guy. But I think this is a good point for him where he's not necessarily the center of everybody's attention.
Yeah,
he needs to after being like the center of attention in the soapus of like positive energy. I think for him on this version of Paul Pell, it's good to actually be like a good source of energy, not central source.
Sharif is this presence that when you look into his eyes and he's talking to you, you want to believe everything he's saying because he just melts everything. I would like to stare at Sharif and be like nodding my head. Yes, but absolutely, whatever you say, you are beautiful. Yes. I think that's kind of the effect he's having on this tribe as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's the duality of man.
No, exactly. It's like yeah. So I'm sorry. I'm like, Daddy Sharif, call me.
You're only a mile away. Just walk. It's
only a mile away. No, he literally has the schoolgirl effect where everybody that's talking to him is like, oh. And then he bros it up and he's like one of the big boys, and AKA the meatheads that is referenced a lot in this episode. And I just think that's such a fun duality to have because in actuality he is such a threat.
Absolutely.
And I think
that he knows he's a threat too. And he's able to bend around that.
It's surprising that they're not talking about wanting to get rid of him before the merge. I would see a guy like that win a lot of these challenges coming up, or at least have a much better chance than some of the less physically intimidating players.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right. And I got to say, to switch gears a little bit on the opposite end of the spectrum, having spent some time with her, I think that at least she doesn't get a lot of airtime in this episode so much, but Julia is really a super smart and strategic player. And I think she found a really good spot for herself in this swapped tribe for it, where nobody was really laying eyes on her and she could be part of the conversation and kind of nudge things the way that she wanted them to go. Yeah. Yeah, and I saw that when we were handlers for Iona kind of stuff, but they went on an early winning streak, and they really did. Nobody went home until Coach. And at this point in the game, even when like at the end of the episode, we still have all the original Iona members there except for Coach.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
Annie and Jeremy and Veronica, Stan and Annie. Is that everybody? Yeah, that's everybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That are still in this game. So 5 of the original Iona make it to merge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You see, at the swap, Julia, she was put in position between her Dragonflies Alliance, the Girls Alliance, and the Iona Alliance. And having 3 really good options, no one was going to come for her. She picked her 2 sides, and she's bringing them forward with her. She set it up perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's what you have to do at this point too. Like you have to like make sure you have your people in order, so you can get to like the next phase of the game together with the people you want to play with, and not the people that want to take you out.
Yeah, Julia's a pusher, Katie. She's a pusher.
Yes, she is.
Yes. I think that's pretty much all about Polypel. And we're gonna pronounce it right, Mark. Polypel.
Did I say that right? Oh my god, I'm sorry.
No, you've just been going falafel.
Polypel. I think of the actress Polypel. That's what does it right for me.
Yeah, the actress Polypel. I just gotta say, the transition with that candle, I said, "Oh, come on, cinematography."
I know.
There was like really cool transitions. Yeah.
There's
like great transitions. And then like we get like the funniest line ever in Survivor New York. Like I really love how Kristen has become like the funny character of this season. By just speaking the truth. Like Chris is like, as you see, Kayla's gone. And Kristen's like, we can't see. Like because they're blindfolded.
The quick without missing a beat. I can't see.
Oh my gosh. Watching the we're going like watching them go for the pieces, like Danny, guys.
Yeah.
He was holding
with Ed
Danny?
with his hand in front of him.
Oh, yeah. Ed's ball and like hand.
And one hand in front of his stuff, and then the rest of it trying to search so he don't run into anybody.
McKenna gets she just very patiently.
So like before we get too much into like what's happening here, so basically most of the tribe are blindfolded, and there's a caller, and the caller has to get them to bring these blocks back and do a 3x3 3D cube once they're back.
Mm-hmm. I loved I'm gonna be the most vocal person contest between Jeremy and Veronica. It was so funny.
I forget who says it in their thing. They're like, I thought we did well because Veronica has such a very distinctive voice.
She does have a distinct voice.
True. That is true.
Very true. Very true.
I like this type of challenge is like one of my favorite challenges to watch, and like one of my biggest nightmares to play. Because I would be Ed guarding my nads, and like, but also like walking in a weird way where I know I will not injure myself. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
That was so funny to watch, just being on the sidelines. She had to cut out so much of them just doing that, because it really was just Ed and Sharif a little bit walking around just guarding themselves.
Yes.
It feels like this challenge was cut down a lot for the episode, because it looks like it was going on for a long time.
It went on for a long time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, Paddock, Michael, didn't this puzzle take so long?
Yeah, and there was a certain frustration. That whole you can add somebody in at after 1 minute kind of stuff was a lot longer into it than the edit gives you an idea about.
Can we also talk about quickly, like, this challenge is like a staple for most LRGs and the show, but I feel like we never see it in the dark.
Yeah,
which makes it a lot harder because you're looking for if you're a caller, you're like, okay, I need to get the yellow ones and not the red ones. Let my people get there, and like it's a lot harder to see in the dark. Like, was it while you were there?
But we actually had some really good lights out there. They were very bright. There's Survivor New York does a really good job of having a high production value and making sure that things can be seen and things can be heard. And I think especially in this challenge, in the night challenges, part of the frustration with the fact that they went so long was that it's dark out, the challenge week area we can light up, but once they're scrambling and running around, that's when it's hard to see everybody's faces and see their lips moving.
And for those at home, Liska, who will probably be on a soon episode of this, yeah, she wrote, yeah, I think this one took a while, but maybe not as long as the matching one. Because the matching one, that was like at least half an hour from what I've gathered.
Oh, that was a long one as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Run Beach.
Yeah. I felt like that took like 20 minutes.
I think we had put a production mistake that had to be corrected in that one, though.
I also think that like Veronica does actually a really good job of calling in this. You know, like I know that like her tribe ultimately doesn't like get back faster, but I think like honestly, like the last few episodes have been amazing Veronica episodes. Like, but like the calling of the way she's calling is good.
Yeah,
you know?
She does have that teacher voice. It's a hard job being the caller. I don't particularly like it. Though I remember when we
were in Survivor Brooklyn South, you were like, "Go to the tree," and they're like, "What tree?
What tree?"
I know, literally, what tree? Oh, anyways,
it is a hard one because even when you're the caller, you're not necessarily paying attention to everyone. And because this happened in SBS 4, one of the callers was calling and having his team pick up the wrong colors, and everyone was screaming at him, "Check the color of your shirt."
I'll do it.
That'll do it.
So, but no,
that come out allergies.
But yeah, eventually Kristen and McKenna add to the tribes to help finish the puzzle, and it gets like it looks like it's pretty close before like the actual results. You know,
I'm trying to remember how close it actually was in the end. I think that like Propapel really was a little bit farther behind than we kind of get let on to.
Okay,
but they were 3 pieces short, but I don't know that everything else was in place. They probably still had to fix some stuff.
Yeah.
I know that Stan was messaging me last night to make sure that I say that he was the reason why the puzzle went correct.
Of course.
Because he wanted to make sure that did not fall wayside because, you know, his tribe does win. And Jeremy is very happy that they did that. So,
yeah, Jeremy desperately wanted to do this puzzle so badly. And I'm glad he got to do it.
To see Jeremy and Stan's tribe go to tribal, because if you have the two of them are very aware of each other at on this Iona beach, and so much so that Stan thinks Jeremy's going to get voted out when he's Bannerman Island twisted away. So I really would have loved to see this swap tribe of Esopus go just to see where everybody stands.
Stands or stands? Just kidding.
Or standing.
We're standing.
Right, because we all know you really don't know where everybody stands until you actually have to face a tribal with everybody.
And it's gonna be so interesting when Jeremy and Stan are at a tribal together, because like they're definitely working together. But like it's off. Like Stan wants Jeremy gone, and Jeremy is like, "I love Stan."
Yes. Also, there's a really cute shot of a high five between Veronica and Jeremy, and I thought that was really cute.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, that's just such a tight alliance. I think it seems like it's the one that like it was formed the quickest, I think, of all the seeming pairs in this game, and it's also the one that people are catching on to the quickest as well.
Yeah.
Now, were they like an obvious like duo immediately from night zero, or?
They connected kind of quick on the Iona beach once we hit the beach down there.
Yeah.
They definitely had some like points in common and similar thinking styles and everything like that. Iona got along really well together. None of them really were happy when they went to their first tribal together, but I think that in the end, Jeremy and Veronica were super tight like that.
Let's talk about Iona, like, because like you guys were there for it. Was there anything that like we missed in the first few episodes that like was not brought up about with Iona, that like you're like this was an interesting character thing?
Iona was very kumbaya. I mean, honestly, when you don't have to go to tribal for a while like that, on a game like this, people get bored pretty quickly because like there's only so much that you can do in between challenges where you're getting to know each other like that. And, I think it almost breeds a little discontent among some people because it's like, God, I don't want to spend another minute with this person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are we going to swap soon? Kind of thing would be really nice.
Yeah.
It was the kind of kumbaya where like we had enough time to talk about everyone who was there, the previous seasons they'd seen, who everyone maybe knew outside of the game in common. Like some people like played online games or were involved in different corners of the community before coming to Survivor New York. But then also like we were talking about people's love lives. We were getting the tea on Veronica's love lives, and we were all like round table giving advice on what we think they should do and they should go about it. And guess what? Iona gives great advice.
Yes.
It's a really smart tribe. Like also like my brain, like I would never talk about my love life in a LRG. I think I would never even mention I'm dating someone in an LRG unless I like, if that makes sense. I don't know.
I mean, for me, it's a standard part of my conversation when I'm in an LRG because it makes me seem human and people like me, and
Yeah, I think you can. Yeah, you can really use that like connector piece to be like, this is something part of me, and I want to share it with you to establish some trust, and in a really genuine way.
That's
agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know I have gone into an LRG once. And I'm like, I'm not going to talk about my girlfriend at all, and possibly flirt. I don't know, like be open to flirting. That's a better way to put it. I don't know. You gotta use the tools you have, right? That's the best way to put it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And in some ways, Survivor is just like round table flirting. Like it's quick. What is that? Speed dating, in a way.
Yeah, totally.
You're trying to get people as much as you can in a short amount of period of time and connect on something.
Yeah.
And for Iona, it was love lives.
Yeah,
that's how it happens.
That's really cute.
I just was like, this is such a great opportunity to talk to you guys on our version of the show, and plus like there hasn't been much Iona. Yeah,
because goated tribe.
I know.
Yeah,
you got the goats, the handlers.
Yes. Great handlers. Great handlers.
But they're the tribe is dead because they didn't make it into the merge.
Yeah, everyone but Coach made it to the moon. I got to spend a lot of time with Paddock, which I personally loved.
Yes,
it's great.
We have a great time together before we assembled our anti each other's alliances pre-game.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Paddock.
Michael.
So okay, just one quick aside: you were not my primary target in that game, honestly.
Wait, which game is this?
Ooh,
SPS All Stars.
Okay, that's what I thought about.
Okay, we're gonna go into the the other direction, and we are going to talk about. I wrote down Jeremy speculating. It's the shot of him just like sitting there and whatchamacallit? Just like extrapolating on what possibly could happen and whatnot. I want to make this point about Jeremy. I see a like super ton of like strategy talk and speculation, and I feel like the edit kind of gives him like a too high of a radar kind of like edit. But I'm actually kind of curious, like because I know Jeremy and I know that he's like really kind. I wonder what his like social ability was before before this quote unquote edit came in.
I mean, go ahead, Emily. Go ahead, Em.
I'm actually confused on where the difference between the edit and personality is. So I don't actually see the difference. I don't necessarily see it as like a negative like personality, like the way he's portrayed. I think he's exactly that way. He thinks that much about everything and about everybody, and in the same types of way.
Yeah, I mean, Jeremy was super social and engaged in Iona and everything like that. But I definitely think, and this is not a dig for when you watch this later, Jeremy. I think you definitely were the president of Overthinkers Anonymous at this. You were like, seriously, if you could think of it from a different angle, Jeremy was trying to analyze that. And that's just the way his brain works. And I applaud him for that. And I think that in certain games, that's great. I don't know that served him in this game, but he got him far enough in the game.
Mm-hmm.
He is super smart. He was very social. You know, I kind of think about it going back to the way to it. It's like everybody was engaged. Everybody was social on Iona. Everybody was willing to take some time and get to know each other. You know, we all sat around that picnic table for a very long time in the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
I think what I love about Jeremy, though, is he's playing the type of, like, in theory, like, the way he's playing is exactly how, like, I feel like I could play in theory. Like, I'm never going to play Survivor. So, like, this is as close as I'm going to get to Survivor. I'm playing LRG. You're like, oh, man, wow, I'm doing whatever challenge I want to do. And it's like, and I love the joy that he has for it. Like, when he was, like, when you get back to Esopus immediately, he's like, man, I was really excited. I saw that challenge 20 years ago when they were doing Australian Outback, and I knew I wanted to do it, and I finally got to do it. It's like that, like, beautiful thing that I think, like, a lot of people forget about LRGs is that's a lot of people's closest they're ever going to get to playing Survivor.
Watching Jeremy play Survivor New York gives me a secondhand high.
Yeah.
Amen.
And, like, he has very much good paddock upside in, like, the way he plays.
What does that mean? Good paddock upside?
It's so weird. Like, you've been frozen for most of this. I can't even read your face right now. But, like, it's like the
frozen?
Okay. What?
Yeah, your image is frozen.
You've been frozen, like,
yeah, you've been frozen for 26 minutes, girl.
But
don't say that.
But it's totally fine.
It's a good picture of you. Don't worry.
You're happy. Yeah. You're smiling, and well, so good paddock upside is like when I watch you in games, and when I've played games with you, it's like the excitable puppy dog energy that you have, where it draws people in. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't hear his sauce, so maybe I hope. Yeah. But I mean, it's like, honestly, like, in a good way. And I hope you're there and hearing this, because I'm a diehard paddock stan, both as a player and as a human being.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was just so charmed when he was, like, really giddy in that confessional. I was like, if they're okay, it's okay. It's just so nice. It was just such a nice moment for him to reveal that in his confessional, because I have a soft spot for people that want to, like, live out this fantasy of wanting to play the game, and for some people, we won't get that chance, and for live games, it is the chance to do it. So it was beautiful to see.
No, like, I like the games that, like, I play with y'all. Like, I've seen you guys do things that, like, I know, like, mean so much to you, and it's like that cool thing, like, for him to see, like, oh man, I get to talk to Alex. Oh man, I get a call in this challenge. Like, I love it and I feel it in like the deepest part of, like, my happy heart.
Oh, some of my LRG moments are, like, my favorite moments in my life. So
yeah, 100%. Can't wait to talk about some of them. But that's just life. Not spoiling anything for any games coming up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this idea of being lucky. Lucky.
Yeah, she's
back. Woo! This idea of lucky but unlucky. So Robin has this great confessional where they're being the narrator and is saying all these things. It's like, you know what? I got this extra vote, but I'm unlucky about it. And speaking of Jeremy, Robin also wanted to target Jeremy. Mm-hmm. What are our thoughts there?
I think this is a good move for them. I think Robin, the way Robin is playing this game is that they want Stan more to themselves than Stan having options. And Stan has a million options.
Stan has a million options.
Million.
Because I think at some point you hear everybody say at some point, I love Stan.
Mm-hmm.
I think Robin has assessed their strengths a lot more, maybe accurately than a lot of other players in this season. Like there's a lot of arrogance.
Okay.
Yeah.
You love arrogance with dramatic pauses.
We'll just leave that thought. But no, I agree.
There's a lot of arrogant.
Wow. Oh, there she is.
A lot of arrogant. What, Em? You didn't finish that statement.
Oh my God. There's a lot of arrogance in this season in like challenges and like skills. And Robin knows their strengths and is like, maybe I'm not gonna be the best one to win these challenges. Stan, you are doing great. You know, give me some time.
Yes.
Share the love.
Sharing it.
And I actually think that like in the second half of this episode is where you see the real like dichotomy between teams that can play physically. Because you like you have on the one side you have Danny and Andy and Stan, like these tall people, and they're standing next to an Annie who's 5 foot something kind of stuff.
Let's not forget Kristen.
And
Kristen's
a great physical player, but in the ball launch, like the people with the height are the ones that have the real advantage in that one. And you see that because it takes a while for people to figure out how to use it. But like, you know, Danny and Stan and Andy are the ones who really are the ones scoring the points because they can just physically tower over everybody else that's there.
Yes.
I wish they could have scored the points while they were launching.
Well, I mean, like they're putting up like the Bannerman Island twist in this first half of the episode, which is involved in that. Like the twist is that they get there's an idol nullifier that will be on the course for that challenge. And I don't love an idol nullifier. I feel like they have better luck in LRGs than they do on the show, but like I don't know. It's not, in my opinion, like too hard of an advantage.
Random Skypes. I don't know how I feel about idol nullifiers yet. I like them in theory. Kristen said, I had been weightlifting for a year and a half at that point. It's just unfortunate that lifting can't fix height. You were very toned, girl. Very, very toned. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about idol nullifiers. I'm pretty like, nay.
I'm with you on that. I think they're added in there because people got sick of idols, but at that point, maybe just remove an idol in the game instead of adding in another type of advantage to like counter it. I do like that it has to be like played correctly and like you have to write the name before you put it in the urn. Like that aspect of it makes it feel at least a little bit cerebral.
Right, it's not as powerful because you could get it completely wrong. That
you
think I'm going to play it for Emily, but I play it for Davey, and like,
you have to know who has the idol and who they could play it for. Correct. Same, but that's the same way you do when you're like splitting the vote. That's actually now I think about it, when you're splitting the vote, that's when the idol nullifiers are like the scariest.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh my god.
Oh.
God, I hate splitting votes. Oh my god, I hate that so much.
Yeah, nightmare scenarios for real.
It is. It's literally the scariest thing is like, okay, we have 5 votes. Let's split them 3-2.
No.
Emily loves it. We know that.
The art of splits.
Because it's chaos. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not because it's chaos. A split vote requires is people to like show some of their cards. Every time you have a unanimous vote, you have at least half the people in that vote who they don't really care what's going on and they're choosing not to participate. I like a game where people are choosing to participate in the way of like showing their cards. I want like an open hand. At least for everybody else.
Yeah.
I totally feel that because personally, like when I first started playing, I was very cards close to my chest, not really wanting to reveal, but I think sometimes there's an advantage of like showcasing your cards and causing some chaos, or at least like not chaos, some organized fun.
Yes, absolutely.
Making things happen.
Half the battle.
So before we get too far into the second half of the episode, can we give our girl McKenna a little love.
Well, I haven't gotten her tribal yet, but I mean,
well, if we're talking about some of the second half of the stuff, I don't want to miss over. I don't want to miss like one of my literally one of the favorite people that I've ever met in these games is like I love me some McKenna. You know, Emily, I know you're super close to her too. Super close to her. Yeah, I love me some McKenna. Like just watching her play that game was so much fun. And then like a couple months later, watching her play SBS 4 was even better. And, you know, she's just like, I just want to put her in my pocket and carry her around all day. I think she's so fun and so amazing.
Yeah.
She also played so freaking well this season, like in so many different ways. Like, because I feel like she was in a great spot before the swap, like a really great swap. Like, I feel like she was that nice, like that good, like second, third position in original Paul Bell. You know,
she was able to go through somebody's bag and get zero slack for it. It was all Andy. McKenna didn't do anything. Andy did it.
Yeah, she's probably the epitome of the swap screw this season, I think.
No,
I don't know. No, I don't think so. I think that's Kayla. A swap screw is like an immediate screw.
I guess. Yeah.
Like McKenna had the chance to set up the next boat, and it didn't get set up properly. A true swap screw, you don't have that chance.
True. I got you. I'll agree with that.
True.
But I still love McKenna.
Yeah, I think in this deliberation portion, like McKenna did the right thing of pitching like Annie and like trying to go like from all sides. I think when you know you're under fire and you're literally talking to purposeful groups and voting blocks, like that's how you know you have your great reads happen and your like finger on the pulse of the game.
You can see, and even though it's a double episode, so we're not getting that full strategy time that we know is happening. You see McKenna in like 70% of the conversations happening this round. She is talking to everybody. She's talking to everybody in different combinations. She's thinking like, how do I stay? Like, how do I make myself useful? That's her pitch. It's like, I want to be here. I'm going to play with you. Like, I can bring people over from the green side. Like the Blues, they might not be able to bring anyone over. Like, take me. I like the fact that she keeps fighting.
Yes, she's a fighter. And I think her nerves start to come across because there's only so much you can do. Like when you're really just fighting. I think also the choice to trust Veronica, who is actually like kind of a great bullshitter, in the way that's like, hey, I know you're going home, but I'm Yep.
She Veronica does a wondrous job this episode. Like, I feel like she's like the true MVP of this episode. Like making sure like her numbers are there when they need to be. Yeah.
But no one was ever against her. They're looking they look to Veronica for the decisions, and she's making them.
Yeah, which is also so funny because Veronica thinks she's at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is. I like that. I like she's unaware of her power.
Yeah.
Like it's like I actually feel like both McKenna and Kayla both got swap screwed. Like I actually think Kayla, because the weird communication issues that arose around her when she was getting out, and like the trust issues that happened earlier, and McKenna fought hard. Like McKenna fought hard in this round. She fought hard both rounds, and that thing of like, when you're the only one from the original tribe left, how much can you trust the other two tribes? If it's like you have to know where the votes are and feel good, you know?
I have a question. So McKenna isn't disclosing who she's close to on this new Paul Pal 2.0. If you're McKenna, would you disclose who you're close with? Technically she did, but like, how would you go about trying to pitch and save yourself?
I think I go back to a couple episodes ago when Stan was stolen in the twist again. I just really loved that twist. I'm bringing it up again. But, and he's like, I'm telling everybody the things that are happening. I'm telling them the truth because I don't want it to catch up to me. You see, Robin doesn't tell people about that extra vote, and people are starting to like have whispers. With McKenna not saying exactly who she's close to, there's whispers. So like, I think the only answer is just transparency here.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Because like she's in a position where the truth is really what's going to put her on more solid ground, I think, and really give her a little bit more of something to back her in the end. And keeping her mouth quiet about some of that really, Em said it, like it gave people a chance to think on their own. And when when people think on their own, they're going to think the worst about you.
Every blank you leave, they're going to fill it with the most extreme version.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The truth will set you free.
Amen, sister.
I also like, before we get like closer to like the actual like vote and everything, like I think it's really important to bring up that like McKenna wants a core with Veronica and Sharif. I think that would be the most insane trio of like
That's such a bad pitch though. Here, Sharif, leave the guy you're saying is your number one the whole time. Here, Veronica, leave your Kumbaya tribe.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but I mean, like, if they were able to make that work out, like
it'd be like the coolest secret alliance.
Yeah, it would be so cool. I think
like the final tribal council. You know what I mean? Not like the final 12.
I think McKenna, I think she does this a little bit, but she should have went to Veronica and said, "Hey, I know you want the girls, so why don't we do this? There's only 2 boy blues left. If you keep me, like, lie your ass off and say you'll have 3 extra votes with the 3 people on the other tribe, and then, like, I guess numerically it would make sense to Veronica and be like, maybe we should push this. And who cares if it's untrue because you're about to be voted out."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe like McKenna did pitch to everybody, but she maybe should have focused on Veronica.
Mm-hmm.
But like, how much can you know when you're there who the decision makers are? You know?
Yeah, and how much
we played together. We could see who like thinks every round. We people who think they're in charge and people who are like
right.
I mean, all seasons of Survivor New York is just like 8 people are like, I'm in charge every round.
It's like
who's in charge? It's like 2 people every tribe. Like, what's happening?
Yeah, and how much do you really know within a 15-20 minute deliberation period?
Exactly.
There's nothing.
No, you go.
There's nothing that like jumpstarts me than hearing you have 20 minutes. Go. I'm like, oh fuck.
It's like
so much to talk about.
But also sometimes it's like you blank. You're like, oh my god, wait, I have to. Who am I voting out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally.
Also, it's important. Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say it's amazing how quickly that 10, 15 minutes goes by when you're trying to. When there isn't a solid name, like whenever there's a point, sometimes there's 10 minutes can last forever when you know everybody is on the same page that person is going home, and it drags on for eternity. But when you don't know, that 10 minutes goes by so quickly because you have and you feel like you made zero progress in coming to a decision in the end, and you walk in kind of being like a very live tribal that nobody knows really what's going to happen in the end.
Yeah. And also, like, then there's people like Ed who are like me, who are like never really making far in games. It's just like, I want to make it to the merge. I can taste the merge. I just need to get past like 2 more votes and make it to the merge. And like that's also like I don't want to say playing scare, but it's like close to it, you know. And that's like that's the thing about me. Like I play that way 100%. Like I'm like my track record's terrible. Like how can I get one more round? How can I get closer to my goal?
There is something to be said though too, like that mentality can like it's very much like an observational mentality. You're trying to watch what's going on and learn when to make your moves. A lot of the players in this season, it's their first time playing in LRG, and so like you can see like the steam pick up as they go further.
I really like that point that you just made, Paddock, because you like until you said it, I didn't envision and make that mind movie of like their engines and their steams picking up, but as you're saying, I'm like, oh, you're totally right, because I think as soon as this episode ends, shit is gonna get wild.
Oh boy,
but we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah. Also, I think it's really worth noting that Annie it feels very shaky with Veronica at this point.
Yeah, it's hashtag splintering.
She doesn't want to be the decoy vote. Nobody wants to be the
decoy. It's the worst.
After 2 rounds in a row being the decoy vote.
It's you're telling everybody else who's the bottom of your alliance.
Yeah.
I remember I remember choosing Annie to do this confessional. I was like, tell me how you feel, girl. And she delivered. That was such a good confessional that you did, Annie. I'm a Stanny.
Stanny.
Annie.
Shout
Annie
out
Stanny.
shout out to Davey, the cinematographer.
Yes. She was
Do it.
pissed. And rightfully
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
The logic of a pawn is like,
because like that means one idol gets played and then you're fucked. That means one person votes differently, you're fucked. Like if you're the decoy vote, like anything can happen to fuck you over. It means you're plan B. That's all.
And
that's
at some
what it
point,
means.
people just want an easy vote, so they say, "Okay, what names have been out before? Let's say one of those."
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think any of the four of us here have ever played a game where we were willingly the pawn of anything.
hell the fuck no. You better not say my name.
No, if I'm taking my weekend or day off, I'm going to play the best I can.
I'm sorry, you were saying my name? Why were you saying my name?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, sorry.
Don't say my name unless you intend on me going somewhere.
There's literally a scene in our season paddock where I literally tell my bestie, I'm like, you better tell your boys to get your name out of my mouth. Like,
oh my God,
yes. I did not.
I remember that. Yes,
that's one of the most iconic moments from season 4.
Oops, sorry, a little feisty.
For those that haven't watched season 4, like you really need to watch season 4. We've had like 5 or 6 guests on from season 4, and season 4 really. I love season 4.
Oh God, season 4. Some of my favorite people in the entire universe are on season 4. You know, and you know, Davey's mouth has a tendency to get him in trouble. I've seen it firsthand.
I will say on the record that I have gotten better at it. I have gotten better. That was when I first started playing LRGs.
That was years ago. You think everyone was good during Survivor New York? Look at that cast now. Babes.
It's a really, I mean, season 4.
I know. Trust me. You know, I know all. I think I know almost everybody that played that season at this point, and like you were all iconic people to play. And there's some of you I can't wait to play a game with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. 100%. Should we talk about Tribal Council? Because I feel like it's a pretty cut and dry one.
Yeah.
McKenna, I feel so much for McKenna at the vote. Oh my God. I'm just like, my heart breaking for you just because you fought so hard and did as best as you could and just was like up against the wall, and the wall just was like, no, you know?
Yeah.
And what also sucks is on Palapel 1.0, like when they don't show this, I don't believe, but Kristen, after revealing that she does have her idol, offers it to Danny and to McKenna, and they both are like, no, you keep it. Bloop. The woulda, coulda, shouldas of the world.
Yeah. We got like a quick little like snippet of a scene though with Paul Pell right before they go to the to the immunity challenge, and they're like, hey, let's just like do better. Like, that's like the whole like theme of the scene. And I'm like, oh man, I know that feeling.
I do want to say, like, what really broke my heart with McKenna, and this will be the last segue before we get into the next part, because I do want to give my roses to McKenna as well, as we all should.
Yes.
I remember going up to her after she got voted out, and the first thing that she said was, what could I have done? And I was just like, I really didn't know. I didn't really know what to say. Not the sound effects. Yeah. There was nothing, I think, that you could have done, and you fought really, really hard. And something that I really appreciate about McKenna is just the fight and always, always, always being in every conversation.
Yeah.
McKenna is one of the strongest social players in this game, and it is not because of she studied the book or like watched everybody play or is any kind of sociopath. McKenna's great because she's McKenna. She shows up exactly as herself. She smiles at you. She wants to be your friends. You fall in love with her immediately. Like,
she's a natural.
She doesn't have a bad intention in her.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, she's a natural.
She's the best ally.
Yes.
And she hosts a really good game also. That people should play. That
play Trinity Falls or watch All Stars.
And also Michael too, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we love her. She's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Did she just quit, or?
I love that you were like, and we love her, and then Paddock leaves.
Well, like that was like it looked more intentional than not, right?
No,
like,
I think she just for all those not being able to watch live, Paddock was frozen for the first 27 minutes and now randomly falls out. It's okay, she'll come back.
That's okay.
Let's-
But we love McKenna.
Yeah.
Yes, we love McKenna. McKenna, like, you have our hearts.
I have so much only goodwill towards McKenna. I love her. Let's continue, I guess.
Yes. So, come on, sound effects. So we get this like preview of the next challenge, and we see something in the layout of the. I don't even know how to describe.
Wait. Before we get there, we have to talk about when they arrive, because we get the patented Robin.
Yes. Oh yeah, gooped, gagged, like all of it.
Yeah.
Literally all of it.
I think there was some surprise that McKenna was the one that went home, because they have I honestly I can't remember what their conversation was, but at the beginning, like before we get the propel whatever thank you. Strategy. You guys have been saying this all season. I haven't. Strategy session. They spend some time with the tribe. Shut up. I've had a cocktail. It's been a long day. We get their whole strategy session over at the other tribe. They're trying to anticipate who's going to go home in the end, in the edit. And I think that I don't think McKenna's name really came up as a serious contender among that conversation. I don't remember it, honestly. I watched everything at 1.25 speed.
That's right.
There she is.
There she is, Mrs. Universe.
For those that are, Emily's back.
Yeah.
So
we talked about Robin's big old shocked noise that they made when McKenna got eliminated. It was
yes.
Too good. The drama.
But continue talking about like the setup for the challenge.
So the setup is there's a bunch of like colored balls, I guess, and behind the blue ball, I remember that because LOL. There was a sound effect that highlighted the advantage in a pouch, in a survivor pouch, underneath the blue ball. Bing! Come on, sound effects. To Paddock's point from the beginning, the production value and what we've been saying all season, the production value has risen like immensely. I'm very proud in the direction that Survivor New York is going.
I do have sound effects in here too, also.
Yes. Bing. Oh my god. I always get gagged when there's sound effects, like truly. But this challenge kills me, both as like a comedic,
my god,
and also as like a competitive standpoint, because like Paul Pell just wants to win so bad.
Yeah, they do. They desperately, because they're feeling the momentum, and the momentum's not going in the right direction.
Yeah,
going into that challenge.
And this challenge, like that slingshot, is either the hardest thing to launch or the easiest thing to launch, because either it falls like 3 feet away or like shoots to like 3 neighbors down.
I love that slingshot. Oh my god! I wanted to get in front of it and see if like I could be sprung.
That was in your season 2, right? That slingshot, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
Nar. There was Nar slingshot. Swing.
Let's edit a slingshot in there, and then
No, there's a lot of challenges in the season that I wish we had in season 4. Like we never got to run and memorize like a board. We never got to do a 3x3 like no gray side puzzle. And we didn't get a slingshot, so fuck our drag, right?
Yeah, come on. What's that about?
Yeah, what's that about? But yeah, the two this challenge just is like so sad to watch.
It's funny. Hard.
It's funny, but it's so hard to watch.
Because like literally no one catches it or bounces off of them for the first like 6 or 7 rounds.
Yeah. It's the reality of these things. Not everybody is like a Michael Yerger or what a throwback. But like we're real people. We're not the movie stars.
Yeah. Not everyone can be JT Thomas and Token Teens losing a tooth.
We're more like Steven taking the slingshot and hitting the other team's star.
Yeah, that's
that's my
me.
god.
That is me.
Yes.
Boy. Always intentionally though. because I'm chaotic in the bad way.
Intentionally.
No, not
intentionally chaotic.
No.
Also, the first person.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no,
I said the first person that launches is Danny, and because he's the first person there, what does he get?
The nullifier.
No, he wasn't the first person there.
He's the first person I knew about the nullifier there.
Right, he's the first person from his tribe. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, you're right. He grabs it. He grabs the nullifier.
Let's go, Danny. And then I just wrote I wrote in all capital 4 words, not them going back.
That's about right. Like, oh my god, like it's just literally there's only 3 points scored, and it's all by Esopus. Oh, keeping up Esopus' streak of winning every challenge since the 3rd round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt that.
And that's what I was talking about before. It's like there's just a physical dichotomy between the two tribes for this challenge, really.
I will say this, for my draft, I'm very happy with how it went. I mean, obviously, as a friend of this cast, it hurt. But as a person that everyone I drafted is currently on Esopus, I was like, okay, cool.
Wasn't that such an odd way for a vote to fold out, though? Like, to walk over, first go, oh, who's closer to who, and then walk over to them and be like, wait, who are you closer to? We want to vote you out if you're too close to the other people.
Yeah.
And then being like, oh yeah, we're gonna vote you. It's all love. Like, honestly, if I was in one of the boys' position, I would not be feeling all love. I'd be like, this is a power trip, and I'm sick of it. That was hard for me to watch as a fan.
Yeah, I just don't think that I would smile. Like, if I was being told straight up, like, you're in a minority and we're gonna vote you out, I wouldn't know what to say. I would be gobsmacked.
But that's Ed.
But
that's who he is. He's a happy person. You know, he's a good person. He said he made it to the game and he had accomplished everything that he had wanted to. And like I don't think he wanted to go home, but he was self-aware enough that he wasn't going to get pissed off about it.
If I was Ed and Sharif that round, I would not have let the girls go sit over there and talk for that long. I would have been
that was stupid.
To them one-on-one and trying to change it up, letting Annie know, hey, you're the decoy vote every time. Vote with us. They're going to vote for you. Let's do a move. Instead of just over there and talking and reminiscing on the rounds you're already and acting like your game's done with.
Yeah. I just snapped 3 times for you because I had the same thought. Like, you know that Annie's going to be the decoy. Pull her in. You know that Julia wants to work with you. Pull her in. As much as I love my girl Veronica, like, that's at least not you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make a pitch. Don't just say, I'll go, whatever you decide is fine. Like, you came here to also be a decision maker. You can do it.
Yeah.
Next time.
Also, pink raincoat alert from Annie.
Yeah.
Aww.
Do you want to talk about the Bannerman Island twist for this round?
Yes.
Yeah. So Jeremy excitedly gets up to read it, and it's living his best life, and it makes me so happy. And it's like they have to decide who will get a vote put onto them, and we don't find that out until
I was honestly thinking, like, what happens if the vote that Esopus gave caused a 2-2-2? I don't think that like Jeremy or at least the people on Esopus would vote again, right?
Probably not. No.
Years because they're on a different site. They would because how would we communicate, right?
Right.
There wouldn't have been a
production number.
And then whoever, it would have been a different out.
That'd be interesting though. If it could have, they could it'd be in Jeremy's interest to tell people who he's voting for somehow. Hey,
hey, I voted for you.
Yeah, if he had tried that, I guarantee you that Naomi's head would have spun around 3 times and then eaten him whole.
Her eyes would have widened.
You would have gotten that Naomi look.
She would have been like, Jeremy, what the fuck?
We love you, Naomi.
Oh man. Also, like, I think it's interesting, like, quickly, the small amount of Ahsopas we got in this episode. Like, Danny reads like the whole nullifier to all of Ahsopas, allies and not, while in what sounds like a rainstorm.
That's when the rain had just started. Wait until day 2. I swear to freaking God.
Hillary Duff is quaking somewhere.
It's a weird thing of like everyone starts getting very, very wet during this episode. I couldn't tell if it was because of the heat or because of that. And the cicadas also get very, very, very loud in this episode too. Where my YouTube subtitles eventually became like cicada noise.
I think Sharif quickly dethrones Danny as the sweatiest person on Bannerman Island right now.
Amen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, like Danny, Andy, and Kristen like talk strategy for like the future. It's just smart. Like if you're gonna want to work with these people, you gotta like lay that down right now. You know. Like sure, you're all on the same page.
Yeah. I also wrote like in a box because I wanted to talk about it on my notes. I wrote, "Yikes! Julia's read on Sharif versus Ed of sending
Oh
home."
my God!
I think it's wild. Not because it's like a bad thing to think about the future, but thinking about jury votes at 12 is kind of like wild. Like, what do you guys think? What do y'all think?
Why are people even mentioning the jury at this point? If you're thinking about who you're putting on the jury, I guarantee you, you're gonna have a lot of trouble getting to the point where
she's also like a stand vote, so she's like, this person's gonna get to the like she's all like stands make it to the finals, like, which I'm like, that's a dangerous game because if it's a final 3, that's you only have 2 other slots, and you gotta hope you're in one of those 2 slots. You know?
Yeah. Julia's
also,
giving me
jury management is just you want to play it, but it shouldn't be the way you're playing your game. You know, it shouldn't be the control. Like you make it to the end, and however you got there, you need to be able to explain it.
Hi, Chris or Naomi or whoever, or the show itself becoming sentient.
Yeah, I also think that Julia is giving Chrissy from Amazon vibes of being like, I don't know who I'm gonna vote. And like in the middle of tribal, I'm gonna vote this, and then like she was like, I don't know who I'm gonna vote until I have that pen in my hand. But yeah, I just think that it's really interesting that Julia's thinking about jury votes at 12 because that's not what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about let's get to fucking jury.
Yeah.
Or like, sorry, not let's get to jury. Let's get to merge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, it's such a very weird, like, because it's already been decided, like immediately, like how long or how quick into this round of voting was it decided that Ed is getting the votes for the girls?
I think like almost immediately because Veronica was like, I'm with my girls. I lied, but I'm with my girls.
But like, y'all were the, as a handler, did it look like this was like almost instantaneous like it was in the episode, or
it felt like real time. They split up and they started talking, the girls and then the 2 guys, and it was like, okay, which of them are we voting out? And then they decided, and then they go get some input, and then they come back, and then they say again, yep, we're voting you out. Then they go back, talk in a circle, reminisce, split up for confessionals, go to tribal.
Yeah. It was quick.
That's a nightmare. I mean that's also what we saw in this too, like Sharif and Ed being like, yeah, we're not going against each other, and and the cicadas are going crazy here too.
I just think it's so funny, like keeping pathways open, like as long as you're thinking about you and keeping pathways open for you, I think that it's fine. But I do think that there's a lot of trying to integrate as the 5 that are left, trying to integrate into what they think the merge will be.
Yeah, you get to a certain point of after swapping and you're getting those people, and all people can taste is the merge. And like it's like, when is it here? What am I doing to get that? It's almost like this like bait in front of you. It's distracting them from what's in front of them at the moment. Instead of playing at that swap, it's going somewhere.
Oh, thank you, Troy. We love you.
Love you, Troy.
Love you, Troy. But yeah, I mean,
thing.
Merge almost becomes like a little bit of this mirage oasis. It's like, if I can just make it to the merge, it's going to be some kind of respite. No, the game just shifts gears completely on you. Yeah. And everything that you knew before is now thrown out the window. You could only hope to hold on to 10% of whatever you built. And you got to start over again. Because now you're playing with a whole set of people that you haven't even had a minute with in this game.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's this false analogy that the merge is this great thing, but it really isn't. It's you made it to that point, and it means that if you get out, you're on jury, so you get to participate in this game more. But if you're thinking about staying in this game, hitting the merge is it's just completely false. It's like now you just have to work even harder. To stay.
Yeah, we've all been extremely influenced by Kat when she said that like now she's dateable if she makes the merge, or she's not dateable if she doesn't make the merge, right? Like, there's that focus in LRGs and just Survivor in general, and thinking that like the merge is what makes it like a good run.
Making it to the end is what makes it a good run.
Well, I mean, also that piece that if you make the merge, there's that jury vote, and so it's like you feel like you make the end because you stay the whole time anyway.
I mean, like, not necessarily making it to the end is a good run. I think, like, winning of course is a good thing, but like making it to the end, you can get like the 0 vote finalists or something like that. Like, you know, like, respect your game or something like that. Like, I'd rather make good moves and make good memories and make good friends and be proud of my game with whatever placement I get versus like get to the end and be laughed off, being like, or being hated.
I mean,
I think
you said sounds good, but as a competitor, that like no, like I want to go far regardless.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think
if I make it to the end.
All right, Michael, what'd you say?
If I make it to the end, I don't care what you think about me. I'm going to state my case. I'm going to make my argument. I mean, I've played between LRGs and ORGs. I've played about 35 games. I've only made it to one final. So, and I'm like, I will play my heart out to make it to that final because I want to have my say. And I don't care if you like me or not, or think what you like my game. I just want to have my chance to say my piece about why I did everything that I did.
Well,
because you don't have to be liked. You need to be at least respected in your gameplay. And I think that
you go. Sorry.
No, I think that it's a balancing act because some people on the jury really respect like gameplay, and there are some people that don't respect gameplay and they respect how you made them feel. And so it's a balancing act because how you pitch yourself if you get to that spot is what matters, and some people don't get that chance, and unfortunately for them, I want that spot. So
okay, fair. Sorry, I don't know.
No, you don't have to apologize for your thoughts, girl. Well, man, sorry, you don't have to apologize for your thoughts, Mark.
I don't care. Call me whatever the fuck you want. But like, I think like
if you make it to the end, you don't know if you're gonna win or you're gonna lose or what people are gonna respect. But what you do know is that you outlasted every single other person.
Amen.
Yes. Amen.
So that's beat them. It doesn't matter. Yeah, they get to decide who wins, but guess what? The GOAT at the end of 0 votes still beat the loudest jury member.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes. Oh.
What else do you have in your notes?
I have well, this is a great transition. Oh, go ahead.
Actually, I have a very important thing that we have to talk about because it seems like it's not gonna happen anymore. And Stan always asks about this. He's got a different shirt on. I don't think we're gonna see his nipples anymore.
Oh yeah. The nipple count. I think the nipple count ended at 14.
That sounded right.
I'm not exactly sure because I haven't cross-referenced with my TikTok and my 6 episodes. So let's just say a soft 14.
A soft 14. Maybe we'll get to 15. But Stan, we love your nipples and we love you.
I wrote.
Emily and I are completely just like disgusted by both of you.
You can blame.
No, it's just been a running gag. It's been a running gag. So I wrote, Annie walking past the booth is killing me. I wrote that because it was just like so funny. That's so quintessential Annie. My love. My love for her grows every day.
I love he knows exactly like the position people are putting her in, and she knows exactly like
McKenna shouts out, "I love you, McKenna."
Annie knows they think she's ditzy. Annie knows that people see the fact that she's a beautiful young woman, and that automatically like they're underestimating her. And she also knows how to put on a show, even when she's not meaning to.
Yes.
I mean, I got to remember that at least a good quarter of all the conversations at the early part of the game on the side and everything was whether Annie was actually wearing a bra underneath all of that.
Yeah, she changed her sports bra to the color of what tribe she was on, which I think is iconic. I think that's iconic.
Oh, that's great.
And Annie played that so well for herself in terms of like that ditziness that she can portray. She's super smart, but yeah, the ditziness it's a character that people create for themselves because they think, and it helped Annie get that much farther into the game, I think.
Yeah,
I agree. I also I'm gonna bring it back to the vote, but I also want to give you a shout out. Your usage of the word respite was wet, and so is the game, because it's starting to rain, and also the unintentional 3-2-1 that happens at Tribal.
I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah, you don't know what to do with that, but I'm saying it and I'm standing by it. I think 3-2-1 votes are so sexy.
The sexiest.
Sexiest.
I love 3-2-1 votes. I would love to force a 3-2-1 vote sometime.
Yes. Yeah. Paddock, you're speaking my love language. Like if anybody was like, "Hey, do you want to be part of a 3-2-1 vote?" I would literally throw my buff onto the floor and be like, "Gosh, Donnie, you better pitch to me what you got to tell me." I love 3-2-1s.
I can't. We're on the opposite ends of a game at a final 6.
Hey, you want to do a 3-2-1?
Sure.
Let's fucking do it.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean it is great.
Yes.
Oh, your cat.
The cat's so cute.
Is that our first cat appearance this season? I think it is, right?
Oh my god. The cat's hands are just moving so
Just
like
Hi, kitty.
This cat is killing me right now. I cannot. Oh.
I want to bring up how many, like, it seems like Veronica tells Ed he's gone like 5 times in this. Like, at least 3 or 4 times he's told he's going home. It's like very weird. It's
That's
like
brutal.
What?
That's brutal.
It's like
it hurts.
It's just like, hey, you're going home. You can't do anything. You're going home. By the way, Ed, you're done. Your torch is snuffed. You're going home.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, Veronica is very straightforward like that. You know, she's like when you and she doesn't have to cover it. I mean, everything is so set in stone that she can say that, really.
I think that's the first time she's straightforward to the person she's voted out, though. Like every other time she said
yes.
Oh well, yeah, she can't. She can barely look McKenna in the eye when she's saying, "Oh yeah, we're voting Annie."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I also we have to bring up the Julia of it all. Also, how Julia is like, I'm not set on this vote, and I will make this a live tribal council if necessary. And obviously, it didn't happen. But like I was just wondering, like, if that could happen. You know what I mean? Like, my brain's like, is this going to happen? Like that having that confession, like, oh my god, this could be a lot more exciting of an end to the episode than simple vote, you know?
Yeah, I think Julia had 2 tribals in a row that went really well for her. And then it was the first one where she's like, oh, like, what? Like, this isn't quite, I'm not liking this as much as when I got to choose what was happening.
Yeah.
But I think it's good to see players on both ends. Like, right, like we saw her when she was in the power move of switching a vote with Kayla, and now we see her when she's in the little bit more of the back seat.
100%, yeah.
Yeah. I guess let's get to the ending part. Yeah, the tribal.
Yeah. I think it's like a very sweet tribal. Like I hate the whole like I know I'm going home and there's nothing I can do type of tribal, but like I think it's a nice, sweet send off to a very sweet person, and like how he like calls him his JT to his fishback, like which is a weird, which accidentally I feel like paints a target on Sharif in a weird way.
Sharif already has a target.
Yeah.
6 foot.
Sharif turns around. There's a sweat stain and there's a big target.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's me any game. Just sweating in a target.
I love Edsel's goodbye. It was very.
Yeah.
You're right. It was very sweet.
He is one of the kindest, most grounded, and just like welcoming people in this group. I'm so grateful that he was on this season, because just like the amount of conversations that we've been able to have, and just like he transcends the superficiality. I guess no, that's completely superficial on the surface. If you go above the surface, you're just in the air. What we need to do is dive below the surface.
Yeah.
That's what Ed's doing. He dives below the surface and like opens up, like, for real. He talks about relationships a lot, and the relationships he's making, and how that's a lot of his strategy. That's just who he is. It's his strength.
Yeah.
I think out of everybody, he gets the best prize. At like what he gets after he gets voted out, I think is just
it's really sweet.
So much. Being there and seeing him open up that letter and how happy it made him.
It's a no-brainer.
Oh god,
yeah.
It's absolutely a no-brainer.
Did we get the actual? Yeah, so it was a 3-2-1 to vote, right?
Yes. 3 Edsel, 2 Veronica, 1 Sharif. I wonder where that vote for Sharif came from.
Jeremy's the average guy. He's not a target.
Would I stay if I got that Bannerman Island advantage? Probs.
Yeah.
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
Though I will say, I just think that it's funny because Julia being in this position of being in the middle, she wants to send off Sharif or Ed, and she makes it public. So now with this Bannerman Island twist of either choosing to leave the game or going to be the first person on jury, now Sharif or Ed have one, like, will probably not vote for Julia in this case if she makes it to the end. And also, if Julia decided to blindside Veronica, and Veronica reads that letter, she's like, hell yeah, I'm going on the jury. And she probably just like scowls at Julia.
Oh god, yeah, absolutely.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare situation.
Like,
getting to still be on the jury, it's like we were talking about. We were like, oh, we'd rather be on the jury because you get to stay the whole time. Ed doesn't have to go home at the end of the night.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting ready to wrap up. We should talk about what's coming next. Because next is going to be exciting. We're at the merge.
Yes,
we're at the merge.
Yes,
merge. Drop those buffs.
Everyone's dateable that's left, according to it looks like it's gonna be a really, really fun merge episode. And it seems like it's gonna be. I'm really excited to see how this goes. Like, I do love like the little quick of like Julius just dancing. It's like, I'm not doing that. Like stuff like that. It's gonna be. I'm really excited to see what happens and who's gonna be the merge boot. What's wrong? I can't speak. I love it. Oh, this is interesting. Who do you think the player of the episode is? Should we do this from now on? Should we like make this be a thing for us?
We could, like, what is it called? A fishy?
Yeah. I'm saying for me, I think it's Veronica. I think she plays it pretty well. She gets what she wants both times. It's like Veronica or probably Danny for me.
I think Veronica is a really good one for that. She knows she has a lot of power in these moments, and she's choosing to use it. And she's playing harder than a lot of the other people in this tribe.
Yeah. I would give it to my girl Veronica, but Danny is a close second.
I agree. No, I agree that Veronica definitely gets this one hands down. I think Danny gets it just because he's the first one up, and I think they were chosen randomly as to who got up to shoot the ball. So Danny got the opportunity to pull the advantage early just because he was the first one on the list. But I mean, he's a great player, but in this case, Veronica, at least in this episode, because it focused so much on that tribe, gets the player of the episode for me too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, Veronica is the player of the episode. So congrats.
Honorary mention to Michael for holding the umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was gonna try to make a banner of it, but like there we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
You spelled episode wrong.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. It's
episode.
But you know what? Episodes are the same thing. I also feel like we should shout out that there's actually a watch party that's pretty public this week. At St. Pat's Bar in Midtown Manhattan. I believe 7 p.m. on Friday. Watch the merge with your friends, make new friends. Some of the cast will be there. Probably all of the cast are pretty big on watching it as a group, and I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
It's a great.
I know I'll be there. I'm not part of the cast, but you know.
I wish I could be. I'm working, but I'd be there if I could.
Yeah. I'm gonna go see Ava Max on Friday.
You win.
I win.
I don't know what that is, but sure.
So,
okay.
Thank you for having me on. I really love this. If you need another episode, I'm in for it.
100%. Michael, where can we find you? Or where can people find you?
So my handle's in my name down there. I'm at Therax329. I'm pretty much just on Instagram and Facebook at this point. I'm not on much else. I'm going to get some other platforms soon, but you can find me there. If you have a problem with my opinions, shoot me there. Well, follow me on Instagram for my countdown to 50. I'm getting old this year.
Age is just enough for my friend.
We communicate by telegraph. You can send me one. Usually down or at Emily Paddock on everything.
Me quickly, at Mark Levy 85 on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook and easy to find. Letterboxd, I just published my top 22 movies of 22, which was nice. Also, tune in. We record every week. Davey.
You can find me at Davey Sack, DAVEYYSAK, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And if you want to go to my TikTok, it's NapSack, SAK96. I'm going to post something very soon, I guess.
No. Also, Valencia wanted to share this out. Please like and subscribe. Follow us because we have so many great things that we're covering here on Slap Podcasts. And also 5 stars if you want. Want to make sure that people keep saying the good things. And also, Slap Podcasts, we've been killing it recently. The pressure cooker coverage has been insane. Fiji Forever with Gia is the best thing ever. And just tune in,
Yes. Giving Valencia my kisses. And I guess with that, everyone have a great night.
Bye.